Hello everyone, welcome to our next prompt. So you would have watched Rachel's video and you will know that our next prompt is lace or crochet doilies. So I'm going to show you a few different ones that I'm considering. I will probably add all of these somewhere on my quilt because I will be repeating many of our prompts to cover the whole quilt. So I love these little ones, little crocheted edges, which would look really pretty. This one is, I think this is called Battenberg. And I like this one, it's a small one, so that will go on somewhere. This one is a little bit thicker, but lovely crocheted old doily. I go for these, I try to find the ones that aren't too thick. Sometimes you get these and they're too thick and it'll be too chunky. This one isn't too bad. It's a little bit thinner and softer. This is a thin one that I dyed. I think I did maybe Inktense blocks on this one. It's because it's got some different colours that might go in. I wouldn't mind maybe washing that and seeing if I can fade it out a little bit more, but we'll see. May or may not use that one, we'll see. This one, I don't know if you're going to be able to, I need to get a dark fabric. Hang on, what have I got? I want you to see the print of this. Let me find a fabric. Here we go. Let's just put, for the purpose, it's a darker fabric, just for the purpose of seeing this doily. You can actually, I'm looking in my, oh, it says piece. I see, I'm looking down here and I can't really see that. I can see there's letters, but when I look in the camera or the phone, it's so much clearer. 1919, how cool, that's old. That will go on, it's got a crown on it somewhere, and this one I'm going to show you with the background as well. I think that that's a pretty one, and it's got little pink bits of stitching around the edge, so again that will go somewhere. And then I got this one on the weekend, just trying to see which way it goes. This way, I think, and it just has a really pretty edge with just plain linen in the middle, so that could go somewhere as well. It's quite a large one that way. That one cost me, I think, $3, that one. So I have to decide which one I'm going to use. There's lots of options, but they're all going in my little bucket of things that I want to put onto this project because they will all go on somewhere. So let's just get a little update of where I'm at with my quilt. So this is the back of block number 2, and I have done the, I'm going to call it herringbone stitch. It's tacking. Just pulled that. Doesn't matter. Tacking. I've done it much smaller and closer together, so you can see lots of crosses and they will all come out. But I want to show you a mistake. So this side is looking pretty good with the fabrics, and then when you flip it, what went on here? This is all like not laid out properly. It's all bunched up, and this probably is drooping a bit, not very straight. What I'll do is I'll just unpick the little bits holding those corners, and look at that, and I'll just flatten them out because I will be cantha stitching this piece down. And then over here, this is meant to go on top, and I've gone under. So I've had a bit of a disaster there, but up here is fine. So I'm going to cantha stitch this down. I may not do much tonight. I might come back tomorrow and delay my video because cantha stitching takes ages. I need to stitch that down. And then I was playing around with bits and pieces last week. I've got the pile of bits. Once I've canthaed, I can't even remember where I put the bits. I will start to add bits. Lovely old piece of quilt. I was thinking I might add the Battenberg. Which way? that way, I think. Add it with some fabric behind so that you can see it better. Oh, I haven't actually stitched. I haven't stitched my quilt bit on yet. I need to stitch that on. So I need to stitch that and that. And I had some, I want to put lovely doilies. I'm probably completely changing where they were compared to where they were last week. Oh, here's another one. Oh, it's the same. It's the same type. I have to add birds on somewhere. Yeah, so I've really got to start doing this block. The other thing I wanted to show you is how do we join these blocks. So here's my other one. Because on my blocks, I've got lots of bits and pieces, and there's still some stitching here to be done on this one, hanging over the edge. So what I need to do is work out which way my blocks are going. Just try and get myself on camera here for you. And I'm just going to, in theory, show you how I would attach them. So, just going to be a little bit fiddly to begin with, but I need to get my backing pieces on the back side. So I might lay those ones down there. Oh, I might need to trim that a bit because I really want my quilt pieces to come. I'll just show you in theory. What I think I will do is I'm going to attach other blocks in between these because there's so much overlap here. It's going to be difficult to do it. But looks messy and a little bit fiddly. But eventually what I would do is I would just overlap, make it level for a start. I'd overlap the wadding, one wadding to the other, and just do a running stitch on the wadding, holding it together, and then, not with this bit because I've got too many overlap bits, but I'll put some other bits in between. What I will end up doing is overlapping that into that, and then if you can see, that will then come onto that kind of thing. And this one, I would fix it though so it all fits nicely. So let me just show you. If I was to move it up, I'd have to work out all my layers there, but it will all come together nicely. And if you've got a bit that you don't like the look of, just chuck a doily over it. You won't even see the seam and it will all look like it's been one piece to begin with. Okay, and then on the back, let me flip them. So this is my first block where it's canted, but I've left flappy bits. I would probably trim that off there because that's a bit long. I can always use that little bit somewhere else. I know this looks messy, but you'll get the idea. That would end up coming under, and then I would cant the stitch that down on top. That would probably come under. So what I'll do is I'll plan some blocks that don't overlap on the edge so that I can actually fit them in, and then that would come over and that would be joined and stitched. So it looks like all one thing. So yeah, I will need to do some blocks where I don't fully come over the edge, and then these overlap bits will be easier to fit in, and it will be flat. I've got folded up fabric there, so it's not flat, but I would trim that away. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so in theory, you can see my lace doilies. I'm going to go off and spend some time canter stitching some of my new block because I was thinking I'd add a bit to my new block, start this. So I'm going to jump off and do a bit of stitching tonight, and then what I think I'll do is I'll delay my video to tomorrow and come back and show you tomorrow adding some extra bits and pieces. So yeah, so this will be delayed. You'll get this at some stage on Monday. All right, thank you for watching the first part. I'm going to go stitch for an hour or so and then be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so I'm back and I've done a bit of cantha stitching, only a bit here. I'll keep going down that one. I've gone to about there and I've come over to about here. But takes ages, as you know. So I'm going to play around with my layout and work out where I'm going to put my my lacy or crochet doily. I was just trying to think. Okay, so I've got a few different fabrics. I'm just going to play around with it. Actually, I'm going to turn it the other way. Just check that I'm on camera. Pull out lots of bits to play with, so let's have a look. Okay, so first thing is, I love this little scrappy bit of old quilt, so I definitely want to use that. And I love this. This is it's kind of like a flannel sheet. It feels flannel. I think I've used a bit of this on the back, and I just had this little scrap. It's all bendy because it was the seam, and the seam was crooked too. So I've just ripped that off. I want to use that. Maybe not yellow. Oh, I had a bit of this old quilt as well, the backing of an old quilt. I'll go this way. Now, I'm tossing up between this larger crochet kind of doily or this one or even this one. So I'm going to test all three of them. I love this bit of fabric. It's off an old quilt. It's definitely a piece of feed sack. And I just love this. So this has to go in. And then I had this as well. Let me have a think. So I'm just layering up the fabrics. And I definitely want that to be visible because that is lovely. Clashy colours. Now let's have a look. I don't want to cover up the fabrics too much, so that could go there. Or this one. I'll fold that edge out. It's just tucked under where it was stitched. I like that. Don't know about the pink with it. I like the purple with it. Let's take that out for a sec. I think what I'd like is in a bit of a doily cross stitch piece there. So it'd be like a little cluster. Oh, and I pulled this out too. It's a piece of selvage. That could go there. Maybe I want to overlap it up onto here. A little bit of selvage. So overlap it onto the selvage. Quite like that. Remember that bits and pieces will come into play. So those ones can get put to the side for another part of the quilt. And definitely like this one. Just move it up so you can see. I've got some bits of lavender in there which goes nicely with the purple. This I was going to put onto another one. I think I'm going to keep that on the other block. I'm just looking for some little bits next to me. in my little scraps if there's any little bits I want to add. That green flower's going to go on somewhere. That green's nice with the purple. Very nice. Maybe that flower's going there. I'm going to cut it out and check it out and see what I think. So I'll just rough cut it to begin with, and then I'll cut it down. So there'll be quite a few of these types of flowers. I have a lot of pink ones, so it's nice to have one that's a different colour. Now, I can't stitch all of this down yet because I have to finish the cantha in the background. Okay, so let's come closer. I've just been cantha stitching a bit more, trying to get a bit more done tonight. It's Monday night while I've been watching Survivor, which is my favourite show. Favourite show of all time. So a new Australia versus the world, Survivor, started yesterday. It's episode 2 tonight. And I'm enjoying it. The world is some of the favourites from other countries. So there's 3 from the US, 1 from South Africa, 1 from New Zealand, and then can't remember the other ones. I don't know the other 2 because I didn't watch their seasons. I don't know that we had them available. But I definitely know the American ones. You've got Parvati, who's always entertaining. Cherie, and what's the guy's name again? I'm having a mental blank. Anyway, not Boston Rob. It's not Boston Rob. Boston Rob's done quite a few seasons. If you're a watcher of American Survivor, you know what I'm talking about. Rach will know who I'm talking about. She watches Survivor. And then the Australian is David. He's quite entertaining. I like Luke. What does he call himself? The King of the Jungle. He's quite funny. And Kirby. I liked Kirby. Janine, the lady who owns the Boost Juice stores. I don't know if she still does. Well, I think she has the business still. She started Boost Juice and is very well off, I would assume, with a big company like that. Okay, that is pretty. That is going to go in. I'm liking these colours, different to the other block I've done. So my quilt will definitely be lots of clashy, bright colours. Very much I'm liking, let's straighten this up, very much I'm liking the green next to the purple. And then I think that doily goes well. All right, how much am I on camera? Yes, I'm on enough so that you can see. So in terms of stitching this down, I will finish the cantha stitching in the background. And then I think I'll invisible stitch all the pieces of fabric down. I will stitch like I normally do with these, which I've shown you in a video where I go over the edges. And I might do an overcast stitch in a colour like even. I'll just grab it, even. So I'm just going to get it out of the packet. A little bit of my favorite color, neon pink. Could go around the edge. There's not really much pink there. I might do a different color. Just looking at my perlays. I think red might be nice, a nice red. What else could go? darker green, brighter green. That would be quite nice. Kind of goes with that anyway. Do I have a purple that suits that one? I have a lighter lavender. I've got lots. I'm looking. I've got a bowl next to me. That colour's quite nice as well. Kind of goes with that a bit. I feel like I need maybe a different red to that. Do I have more of a pinky red, slightly pinky red? I'll have to have a look in my other thing. I've only got certain. That blue, oh, that blue's nice. I think I'll do that blue. That's an old one. Look at it. Sewing basket special. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for the moment. New color wave going on here, and then we can keep building up. So for me, with this slow stitching, I like building up in layers, so layering more up. Quite, oh, that's nice, the mustard. And I'm kind of covering up that lovely piece of fabric. I like the mustard. Different color wave going on here. Lots of lovely Suffolk puffs to play with. I like that mustard. And again, I might stitch that. That's where, no, not red. Not red. No. Anyway, maybe I have so many navy blue. Oh no, well, I've kind of got blue there. Anyway, I'm not up to that yet, am I? So I can decide that later on. So anyway, that's my next little flat lay to be stitched on. I'll try and get some stitching done during the week. I really do need to get on with this block because I need to attach it to my other one and just continue to build this up. Okay, so I hope you like my idea, not stitching on camera tonight because I do have to do that cantha stitching first, and once that's done I'll be able to get stitching on this. All right, so thank you for watching this week, and we'll see you next week for our next prompt. This is really moving along quickly, this one, isn't it? Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.